Welcome back, my name's Steve and thank you for joining me on my photography journey. I want to talk about something slightly different today. Yes, I am mainly all about photography. I like to take my camera out and take lots of pictures, edit those pictures and then post them somewhere or print them. And I'll be talking more about printing them in a future video. But also, I make videos. And to do that, I need to use some video editing software. I need to use some different equipment. And today I want to talk about that a little bit. I really enjoy the whole process of writing the video, recording the video, but the most interesting part to me is editing the video. I really enjoy that part. And this is one of the accessories that I've got for that, which makes it a lot more fun and a lot quicker to do. This is the DaVinci Resolve Speed Editor. So a quick overview, if you've never edited a video before, what you do is you film lots of different clips, you put them all together, make some shorter, make some longer, add them together, put them into kind of a story, and then that's what comes out at the other end as a finished video. So the cutting them up, moving them around, this is the same process that I do for my videos, that anyone does for making videos, whether it's the biggest Hollywood studio or just someone in their home office like me. And to do that, you need a piece of editing software. I use DaVinci Resolve because it's free. It's something that I've used for the entire time that I've been making videos for this YouTube channel, and I've got quite familiar with it. So normally I would use a keyboard and mouse to do all of my editing, to move things around and everything like that. But this speed editor will make everything much quicker and much easier to do. So up until recently, I've used the free version of DaVinci Resolve. There is a paid studio version, which gives you a few more features, allows your computer to take advantage of some of the extra bits and pieces in the background, gives you a couple of extra audio things, but I never really wanted to spend the money on it. It's about the same cost as Final Cut Pro. What really pushed me to buy it was seeing that the speed editor came with a free DaVinci Resolve Studio license, so the paid version. So I found a deal on Wix which allowed me to buy the speed editor for the same price as the actual license. So essentially I was getting this thing for free. So how could I turn down that opportunity to get a new toy and to try something that I wanted to buy anyway? So when I got everything in the box, updating to the studio version was actually a little bit tricky. I didn't realize that there's two completely different pieces of software. One is the free version, one is the studio version. You don't put your license key into the free version and it upgrades. You actually have to go to the DaVinci Resolve website and download the studio version as its own thing. So once you've done that, you then put in your license key and things, and then you have that version on your computer. I think you can use it in two different computers, and that's how I've got it set up. And what you do then is then edit things. Connecting the speed editor was actually nice and straightforward. There's a USB-C cable, or it's also Bluetooth. I think I've had to charge the battery once since I've had it, so it lasts a long time. You can only use it in DaVinci Resolve. You can't use it for Final Cut Pro. You can't use it to make a presentation in PowerPoint or anything like that. It is purely for DaVinci Resolve. And its main place is the cut page, which I had never really used before, but now is one of my favorite features of the editing program. Something that's quite cool is that as soon as you turn off DaVinci Resolve, the Bluetooth turns off in the speed editor, so it's not sat around wasting battery. So my first impressions of this were how well made it is. It doesn't actually feel like metal, but it feels surprisingly weighty. The keys all sound good. You've got this jog wheel on here as well, which you can use for scrolling through your timeline in DaVinci Resolve. It's also got a click to it when you press it down, but there's not actually a function for that yet. Maybe they'll release something in the future, but I can do pretty much all of my editing just using this. It makes life so much simpler. What I tend to do is set it up with this in one hand, my mouse in the other, and that's all I need in order to do my editing. It's laid out so that you've got different functions in different places. So obviously the main thing that you see is this wheel that you can spin around, allows you to navigate through the timeline. You've got three controls above it: shuttle, jog and scroll, and they adjust the speed at which you go through the timeline. And I tend to have it on jog so that I've got a little bit more control over how quickly I move through. You can choose between the source view and the timeline view. So the source view is any clips that you've got that haven't yet made it into your final edited film. And your timeline is what you're actually editing. That is your final film. So you can easily switch between the two to bring pieces from your source into your timeline so they appear in that final video. That's easy to do, all with your right hand. On the left hand side, you've got in and out points, so setting where you want to start your clip, where you want to end your clip, and then you can move all of that into your timeline or to make adjustments when you're actually editing in the timeline. You can control things by pressing a button and then moving the jog wheel so that it moves one end of the clip or the other. So you can make small adjustments forward or backwards. You've got different transitions, so whether you cut between different views, whether you dissolve, or whether you smooth cut, all of these are different options that you can do at the press of a button. So then you've got other controls like this one button. You can zoom in for a close-up, press it again to go even closer, and again. And the other thing is multicam editing. You can have up to 9 different cameras. I have one currently. If you have more than one camera, you can easily switch between them in editing so that they're all synced up at the same time, and then you just switch between different views. It makes life a lot easier just being able to press and hold and then move the wheel in order to make that happen. Then you've got quite simple controls as well, like adding a marker. You can undo things, you can split a clip in half so that you can move things around. It's got all the controls that you would want to for your basic editing. And then you can use other parts of DaVinci Resolve for changing the colors, changing the audio and things like that. So this makes actually getting the video from your camera into a story on your timeline much easier. One of the best things on here is the stop or play button, and it's recreating what the spacebar could do on a normal keyboard when you're editing. But this is specifically for playing or stopping, not adding a space into something. So if I was writing subtitles and I typed a bit, pressed space and wrote another word, and then wanted to play my timeline again, I would have to click out of the subtitles that I was editing, press the space bar, and then it would start playing. Whereas this one, I can stay in the subtitles, just press the start button on here, it would start playing, press stop, type some more in there, and so on. It just makes the workflow so much easier. And that's one of the tiny little things that has made it much quicker and easier for me to keep going with it. So in summary, it has definitely helped my editing process. So it's made making my videos easier, which gives me more time to go out and actually take pictures. It took a little bit of getting used to, but is now an essential part of my workflow. If you're interested in hearing any more about the editing and the video side of my work, just let me know down below in the comments, and we'll talk about that as well as the photography side of things. But next week, I'm going to talk about these empty frames behind me. I really need to get those filled. So we need to choose some pictures, get them printed, and then get them up there. So that'll be next week. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you again next week on my photography journey. So have a great week. Bye.